Yeah.
What's up, everyone?
What's happening? What's happening? It's Saturday night.
Happy
You know
Saturday
what that
night
means? Let me
to
turn this up a little
all.
bit.
What, my mic?
No, just the headphones so I
Okay.
can hear
Yes.
in the headphones. What's going on, family? Listen, if you are watching now, and you know what? It doesn't matter whether you're watching now or you're watching the replay, hit the share button, share this. But if you're watching live, I definitely want you to hit the share button because this time is greatly enhanced by the comments that show up in the comments section. So share this so we can get some folk in here. Want to hear your thoughts, want to hear your opinions, want to hear your perspective on this topic tonight. Listen, if you are new to this experience, this is Have a Conversation After Dark.
Sorry.
Where we just talk about all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's sexual in nature, so hence the After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's taboo, sometimes it's it's just off the wall. It just could be anything, but it's about marriage, and the goal is not so much to give you marital advice, relationship advice, as much as it is to get you talking, because we believe that conversation is a catalyst for growth. It is a catalyst for learning.
Yep.
It is a catalyst for bonding. And there's just some stuff you just should know about the person you're talking about spending the rest of your life with. So you should probably have these conversations. So go ahead and share this. Let's get into it right now. So if you saw the topic for tonight, you can't do that. It's too early in the show to do that.
There was something on your shirt.
And it's about the shirt about to be off. It's too early for that. Cut that out. If you saw
my goodness.
If you saw the topic for tonight, the topic for tonight is what's yours is not mine. Now, don't have a crazy story behind this one tonight, but um, you and I were having a conversation. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't
And I
remember
was
either
just
now.
saying, I was saying, don't worry about it, or you can get
Oh,
something.
the rewards on the Chick-fil-A
Right.
receipt thing.
So we're having a conversation. Long story short, Nisi says to me, "It's okay. It doesn't matter because what's yours is mine."
Hmm.
So that got me to thinking, what does it have to be that way? Like when you sign up to get married and you say you're going to spend your life with this person
Hmm.
and the goal is for you to become one, does that really mean that what's mine is yours? What if I don't want to do that? Can my relationship, can my marriage survive if I don't believe that what's mine is yours?
I think it depends on what it depends on what it is that we're talking about is yours is mine.
Okay.
Trivial stuff, I think of course it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Um
What do you consider trivial then? Because that's relative too, right?
that's relative too, I guess, but in the moment we were talking about to put it in our perspective
Hmm.
of what we would consider trivial.
Hmm.
We were talking about the Chick-fil-A receipt thing.
For the points.
Yeah, for the points,
Hmm.
entering the points into your Chick-fil-A app
Hmm.
to if you didn't scan your phone for the Chick-fil-A points then and there,
Hmm.
you can use the receipt later on and enter the information and get the points.
Right.
We both have the Chick-fil-A app.
Hmm.
And so you were like, "Well, here, this was for your salad." And I was like, "Well, um I already bought it with points, so I
Hmm.
can't get more points."
Hmm.
And then you were like, "Oh, this other receipt is mine for what I bought. So I'll just put it on mine. Or you can have it." That's what you said. And I was
Hmm.
like, "It doesn't even really matter. What's yours is mine."
Hmm.
So in that situation, of course, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that might matter to some people. Some people might be like, I don't want to use my points
Mm.
for your food
Yeah,
because
that's
you
true.
got your own app.
Yeah, I mean, some people that might be okay. So then I guess then that trivial is relative
Okay.
and it's conversations that you have to have.
So let me ask you this though. Do you believe, well, I guess you do because you said it. Why do you believe
Mhm.
that what's yours is mine? Why
Because
do you believe that?
I believe that because, oh man, I know something's gonna come up
Why do you subscribe to
in a
that?
little bit, but I believe that because we're one now,
Hmm.
and so I think that in the more weighty things,
Hmm.
like, and even this is not something that a lot of couples or not all couples do,
Hmm.
but for us, our whatever income I make, whatever income you make,
Hmm.
it's just all one thing.
Hmm.
Even that is not a thing for a lot of couples.
Hmm.
So but I think that, and I think we both feel this way as far as like finances go, what we're one now. So there's no, this is yours and this is mine. I think that in the more weighty things like finances, what else? Like your name on the mortgage, maybe, you know,
Okay.
stuff like that is more weighty. But things like, you know, s- apps and stuff like that, like food apps, and
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
So if you jumping in and out, the question on the table is based on the topic. The title for tonight is "What's yours is not mine."
Mm.
When you
Or what's
become
mine is not yours.
what's mine is not yours. So when you become married, you're attempting to become one. The two become one. Does this concept even have to be a part of marriage, where what's mine is yours? You've heard the phrase; people have said it. What's mine is yours. Do you have to subscribe to that in order for your marriage to work? Now, I know that some people's quick answer is going to be no to that, but I just want you to think about that for a second. If you're attempting to become one, you have chosen to spend the rest of your life with this person, which in and of itself demands, and I'm using that word for shock value, demands a certain level of sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
compromise,
Mm-hmm.
uh, falling back, so to speak, so that the team can now move forward.
Mm. Mm.
What if I don't want to live by the ideology that what's mine is yours? Is that going to be a problem in my marriage?
It might be.
Okay.
It might be a problem because because then if you don't think that way
Mm-hmm.
and I do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I come to you and I'm like, you just okay, for example, you just got paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to use some of this money because we got to do XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't subscribe to the what's mine or what's mine is ours and what's yours is ours, if you don't subscribe to that,
Mm-hmm.
then that's going to be a problem when I come to you and I'm like, I'm going to take what's yours
Mm-hmm.
to do something
Right.
for us.
Right.
That's
Because
going
then
to be a problem.
right, because then I'm gonna say no, you can't do that.
Exactly.
Listen, for those of you who are watching, don't be afraid to fall on one side or the other on this, right? Don't be afraid of the person that's next to you. Your spouse is going to love you regardless. This should be a conversation. Matter of fact, you should be able to shout out the answer because you should have already talked about this.
But a lot of people don't.
And a lot of people don't, which is why there's probably ain't no comments yet.
Yes.
Because people looking at
I
this,
don't want to touch it.
people looking at their spouse like, yeah, I kind of don't want this to be yours, but I'm afraid to say that.
Yeah. But
So,
the thing is too though, it's something that needs to be talked about upfront.
mm-hmm.
But if it's not and something comes up, you still got to talk about it. You have to talk about it. What are you going to do? You're going to get divorced because you didn't talk about it before you got married and now a
Mm-hmm.
situation came up and you can't agree, so now you're going to divorce?
Some people do.
Some people do.
Some people do.
Wow.
So I'll tell you what I think. Since nobody's commented yet, I'll tell you what I think. I think that a relationship can survive
I think so too.
without subscribing to the ideology
What's
that's what's mine is yours.
I agree. I think it could too.
Now, there's some things that have to happen
Mm-hmm.
in order for that to take place
Yeah.
successfully. The flip side of that is even though you are even though you don't subscribe to that in your marriage, you cannot be selfish. And that's where it gets difficult.
You don't subscribe. So
Because the whole thing, the phrase what's yours is not mine, it kind of denotes selfishness.
no, what's mine is not yours.
What's mine is not
Sounds
yours. Right.
selfish.
It sounds selfish.
It kind of does. So you're saying, so you said that it could work,
It can work,
but there's a
but you
however.
can't be selfish.
Do you think that it can work and the person is not being selfish?
Yes, you got to give me a reason why.
Mm.
So if what is yours is not mine,
Mm-hmm.
you got to give me a reason why that makes sense
And proves
and
I'm not being selfish.
right and ultimately benefits the team.
Wow. Wow. I wow.
And that's not impossible.
I'm
It's
trying
not
to think of how. I'm trying to think of what I could say that would not be like what could the reason be other than I don't want to. I ain't used to doing it that way and I don't want to do it that way.
I mean, there could be other reasons, but generally what you just said is the reason. And that's why it doesn't work for a lot of people.
Right.
So if you think about the money thing, I'll use the money thing because that's big.
Yeah.
Right. The money thing is tough for folks because typically if you're hoarding like the skit we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the
Mm-hmm.
skit earlier. I shared with you the skit that we saw earlier where the family was in therapy. And this is not a real scenario, but it is real for some people.
Yeah.
But this was a skit we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So in this short play, the family's in therapy. They having money issues. And long story short, The son is being teased because of the clothes he wears, and he's wearing hand-me-downs and all this kind of stuff. The wife is having issues. She got to ride a bike to work and all this kind of crazy stuff going on with their family. The daughter is just going crazy in college, getting credit cards and maxing them out. Come to find out, with all of this tight that's going on, the husband has a side account with $3 million in it. So clearly,
Nest egg.
what's
He called it
his?
a
That's what
nest
he
egg.
called a nest egg. Got a nest egg with $3 million in it. So now the family is turning on, want to pounce on him. Like, you got us out here looking crazy, and you got
Right.
$3 million, right?
Sounds
So
like the story we told, which was a
it,
true
which was a
story.
true story, right? So in that case, that's I don't want to share with nobody.
Yeah.
Now, to answer your question, how could that still work?
Mm-hmm.
That could work if everybody understood what was happening and knew what was happening, and there was a game plan. So let's say they were like, okay, listen, for the next 5 years, things are going to be tight around here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be amassing this amount of money that I
Mm-hmm.
do not want to use for Jordans and clothes and Xboxes and
Mm-hmm.
all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tight, and we're going to be looking a little crazy. But at the end of the 5 years, I'm going to have 3 mil, and then
Right.
we're going to do something.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
now you gave me a reason
Yeah.
why what's yours can't be mine right now.
True. Yeah.
And it's not selfish. You're actually doing something that's going to benefit the team.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like, my stuff ain't yours because I ain't really trying to go there with you, then that's selfish.
I just thought of something too. Another reason why people might think my stuff is not yours. We're
Hmm.
not doing that. We're going to keep it separate. I'm keeping mine.
Hmm.
Another reason could be because the person that says that is fearful. Maybe they experienced something
Hmm.
before and they're like, I'm not trying to go through that again. We're going to keep it separate this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It could be out of fear
could be. Anybody who's watching, are you living that in your relationship where you're
because
like,
that's crazy.
what's mine is not yours and it's working?
Mm,
We would love to hear from you.
yeah.
Matter of fact, we would love to hear from you even if it ain't working. Um, just because we want to hear from you. How about that? But and for those of you who are jumping in and out, the question on the table is based on the title. The title is what's yours is not mine,
Hmm.
or vice versa.
What's
What's
mine
mine
is
is
not
not yours.
yours.
Yeah, I keep saying it wrong. What's mine is not yours. So the question on the table is, can your relationship still thrive
Hmm.
if you do not believe that what's mine is yours?
Right.
I don't believe that. What's
Mm-mm.
mine is not yours. Can my marriage still work? If we're trying to be one, if we're supposed to be, the two becoming one, the two becoming one denotes that there are some things you are bringing, there's some things that I'm bringing, but I choose to hold back some things because
Hmm.
this stuff over here ain't yours.
Yeah.
Can my relationship work that
I
way?
just,
Doc is in the
what's
comments.
up, Doc? I think it just needs, it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Doc said, "Hey y'all, I missed the skit, but there is no mine
Mine
and
and yours.
yours."
It should be ours. Some
Mm,
couples have a me and not a we mentality.
okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yep. 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 I agree.
Shout out to Mr. Nimwange,
Ah,
who
oh,
actually spoke
wow.
after the skit that we just talked about
Hmm.
finances.
Yeah.
Parks, the skit that we talked about was, just to give you the 30-second version, there was a family that was in therapy. There was money issues. The kids were having issues. Kids being teased because he's wearing crazy clothes. They looking crazy. Wife riding the bike to work. Everything's tight. Long story short, comes out that homeboy got a nest egg with $3 million in it,
The husband and the wife and children
and
didn't know
nobody knew.
about it.
Right.
And they were upset and they were like, you see us struggling here. You got $3 million in
Right.
a nest egg,
Right. We out here
and
looking
we out
crazy.
here looking ridiculous. So yeah.
So clearly, what was his was not theirs.
Mm.
Right. Joe said, "I can't thrive. We have
We
to
have to
be
be
all
all
in."
in. I just have to say, Joe, what you spoke on today. Listen, Joseph Nyamwange, he is the financial guru
Yeah.
of today.
Yeah.
He's the financial guru of today.
Yeah. If you're trying to get your money right, that's
Yeah.
the cat you need to holler at ASAP.
That word today was right on time,
Yeah, that
bro.
was good stuff.
Right on time.
Stephanie said absolutely no.
Absolutely no. Stephanie said absolutely no. And I'm assuming she means she's not subscribing to the what's mine is not yours. Steph, I think, means that she's subscribing to the, like everybody else is saying, it's ours now. It's ours. It's ours.
So there's no circumstance that you can think of where that could work. That's what I'm hearing Doc saying. That's what I'm hearing Joe say. That's what Stephanie's saying. Doc said it cannot thrive. It
I
can
don't
Oh, hold on. Say what you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say I can't think now. You were saying it could work, if everyone knew upfront why this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that way, but I don't think that it could work. I don't think that it could thrive.
Okay, so and Doc, I don't know if you heard my example, but I'm gonna share it in just a second. It cannot thrive. It can exist, however. You may survive, but you
You
won't
won't
thrive. Okay,
thrive.
man, love you too, bro. Without a doubt, man.
Yes, love you and your beautiful family too.
Indeed, without a doubt, without a doubt. So here was my scenario, because here's what I said for argument's sake. For argument's sake, what I said was, I believe that your relationship can work under the auspices of what's mine is not yours. However, you can't. The kicker is that you can't be selfish, and it's hard it's hard for the two to be separate of each other.
Mm.
That's the problem.
Agree.
And here's the example I gave. So if you look at the skit, dude had a nest egg he didn't tell anybody about. But what if he said up front in the beginning, hey, for the next 5-6 years, things gonna be tight.
Mm-hmm.
And this money that I'm pulling in, I'm not giving it to y'all to get Xboxes and sneakers and all this other stuff and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. Y'all gonna have to tight. We're gonna be tight. We're gonna be looking crazy for about 5 years, because what's mine right now ain't going to this. However, in 5 years, I'm gonna have XYZ amount of money and we're gonna be able to do some things and rock and roll. That's a different scenario, and it's not permanent. What's mine is not yours. And he's not being selfish. He's actually looking out for the good of the team. Now, can that work? Now, I'm saying that for argument's sake. I don't know that could even work, if I'm being honest, but I'm just saying that for argument's sake.
I think like what Joe said, we have to be all in. Like, you can't come to me and tell me that after the fact.
Oh yeah. I agree with that.
It's got to be something that we talk about, and we're in agreement.
And we can agree to be all in that we're gonna be looking crazy for 5 years, and wearing I'm not gonna name anything, because what I name could be great for someone, but we're gonna be not living the way we feel like we should be living.
Mm.
We're gonna be all in that way, so that we can, because that's sacrifice, isn't it?
That's sacrifice.
That's discipline.
Mm.
If we talk about money. Now, let's put it in all other things, like little trivial stuff, like sharing food. She don't.
I'm
listen.
laughing. I'm laughing at Stephanie's comment, and I knew this was gonna come up.
Okay,
and that's why I said I know
up.
something is gonna come up.
Not in that circumstance.
No, you can't be like that. But if I have an item, let's say my favorite chips, sorry, no, that is mine.
Yeah. So clearly, this is Denise's child right here that's saying this, because when
I knew this was going to come up. I knew this was going to come up.
We went and got some French fries today, right? I know there is, for the last 10 years, I don't think I've eaten an entire carton of fries, because I can't. But we can't share one either. So I always end up getting 2 large fries, even though I know I'm not going to eat all the fries.
Well, then
this
you
one
should get a small.
Ain't giving me no fries. Ever. What's hers ain't mine when it comes to that.
I knew it was going to come up. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Let me see what Doc said. Doc said it's a setup for failure. You might as well be roommates. Why marry if you live under this situation? Wow.
Roommates.
That's deep.
Wow.
That's deep. Anything can work if you do it together.
Yep.
Anything can work.
Anything can work if you do it together. Like in the skit, they weren't doing that together.
Yeah,
They weren't.
yeah, they
They had
weren't.
no clue about it.
Stephanie said I was going to use her as an example, but I refrained. Doc, what's Doc saying? If it is
Explained,
explained,
it still could be a problem because having that amount of loot may turn a non-controlling person
good
into
point.
a very controlling one.
Good point.
The
Good point.
golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules.
Interesting.
He who has the gold makes the rules.
Yeah, and that's often how it plays out.
Mm.
Because now I can kind of lord that over you. If I got all this money, at some point the script could be flipped. You do something I don't like.
So
You
that's
treat me some
that's
way I don't like. I'm like, well, hey, I got all this over here. So if you're trying to get some of this, you're gonna have to,
okay.
you know.
Okay. I see what I thought Doc was saying that's how the golden rule that he
Mm,
said is
mm,
how it should be.
mm.
But he's saying that that's how it would be if there was a controlling person that
Yeah,
was
because
had that amount of money or
and that's
was
the
making
thing.
that
It
much
could
money.
flip at any time. It could flip at any time.
Yeah,
That's true.
man.
That's a good point, man.
True.
That's a good point.
Very true.
However, there are a lot of people who live under that rule that what's mine is not yours.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to a lady a couple days ago who was saying that she is used to and we're talking about finances now. I didn't necessarily want to go down the road of just finances, but since
Right.
that's where we are, she was talking about finances, and she was saying that she's used to one pot.
Mm-hmm.
She, however, recently married a man who believes in the what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she said what's interesting is that, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this, is not exactly how she said it, but what's interesting is that that rule sometimes gets bent when he needs something from her.
See? Yeah, that's not
And she
right.
wasn't mad about it. She was just like, she was kind of joking about it, so I don't think it's a problem. But for some people that's an issue though.
Yeah, some people that would be a problem.
So that's kind of like what's mine ain't yours until I need it to be.
Right. And that's not right.
Or what's yours ain't mine until I need it to be.
Yeah.
Mark, shout out to Mark McDonald. I didn't say that earlier. Shout out to Mark in the comments. I know a marriage that divorced
because the husband would buy homes with their combined money without telling or discussing plans with his wife. She would find out afterwards.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's a huge purchase.
I'm not sure what that dude was even thinking. Like, he should have
Mm-hmm.
known that was going to blow up in his face at some point. It's interesting though that we don't think that way when we make those kinds of decisions, or maybe we do and we don't care.
I think that there's no way that I can't. Well, I don't know. I can't imagine not considering you when if I were to make a purchase like that. I can't imagine not, know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
So let me take it out of the money thing. Let's make it jovial for a second. So I recently bought this woman a new deodorant.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
Now let me tell you why I bought her a new deodorant. I bought her a new deodorant because I like her deodorant. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. It's not a woman's quote unquote deodorant. It's just a nice deodorant. And I've been using it lately, right? So I used it one day and she kind of had a little problem with that.
I don't like when you use my deodorant. Why? You have your own.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna take her old deodorant. I didn't even tell her I was gonna do this. I'm gonna take her old deodorant. I'm gonna buy her a brand new one. Bought her a brand new deodorant. See, so what's hers ain't mine, folks. Now I feel like
I knew this was gonna come.
I feel like our marriage is thriving, but we do kind of live under this premise in certain things.
I knew this was gonna come up.
What did you know was gonna come up?
When I said
the
in
deodorant?
Yes, and the French fries. I did. I knew when I said in the beginning, "Oh, the trivial things, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter."
it
It
matters. It matters to this one. I'm trying to tell you right now, it matters.
I just don't like when you use my deodorant or eat my French fries.
See, so
Sorry.
it's not across the board.
Just those two
Question: does your
things.
spouse have the right to go through your things?
Ooh, good
Wallet,
question.
phone, bank account, computer. Is there
The
that's a
privacy in
great
marriage.
question. That's a great question under this umbrella of what's mine is not yours. Great question. And answer that, folks.
My
Stephanie's
opinion
laughing.
is my opinion is on Doc's question.
Thank you, bro.
Sure.
Thank you.
Justin.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having my back.
Just come
Appreciate
on.
that. I should be able to do that, fam. Like that shouldn't even be a problem at all.
My opinion is yes.
Naked and unashamed.
Wallet, phone, bank account, computer. Yeah, go through it all. Have at it.
Mark said full access.
Mhm.
Full access.
Have at it.
So for me, I don't have nothing to hide.
Oh, I thought you were
What?
gonna
You thought I
say
was gonna say no?
something.
I you know, so
But no, wait. You said you
okay.
don't have nothing to hide?
Yeah. You think I do?
No, I don't
Oh.
think you do, but you're saying it as if, but if I did, then no, I don't think that she should be able to.
I think anybody who had something to hide would say no.
Yeah, I guess.
Only a dummy who was hiding something would be like, yeah, here, look at it.
Mm.
That would be idiotic for
Mhm.
somebody to play themselves like that. Now, I'm not condoning you should hide, but I'm like, if you're gonna hide, like use common sense. Don't hide and be like, yes, you can look through everything.
Mhm.
Because now you playing yourself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't have I don't have anything to hide.
I think it might have been just you, Doc, because I think everybody else is good, not frozen.
Oh, you said we were frozen.
But he
Yeah.
said he's good
Mark,
now.
you said he's good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For what? If we are together, why do you need to do that?
do that? To me, the only reason would be for an insecurity to me. I get that.
Interesting.
I get that.
Okay.
And I think that the question is not for if you're insecure, you should be able to go through it. But just if you need to, for whatever reason, I don't know.
So you should be able to have access, but access does not necessarily need to be mandatory. Is that what you're saying? Because mandatory is like, oh, well, I feel some kind of way and I think you're doing something, so you got to give me access, as opposed to we just generally have access, not because there's any insecurities or we feel like anything's going on. It's just that's the culture of the household.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Carrie Ann
Oh,
said,
sorry.
if there is nothing to hide, shout out to Carrie Ann. If there's nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem.
Stephanie.
We should trust each other
Enough to give each other privacy. Do you go to the bathroom with your spouse because you can when they need to go? No. Good point. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like for me though, like some of the stuff that and listen, I'm not. Let me give this disclaimer because
But
things that are serious to people are serious to them. So I'm not downplaying the seriousness of an issue if this is your issue, right? However, some of the stuff that become issues in marriages, I literally just don't care about.
Yeah.
Like me, Oliver Marcel, I just really don't care.
Yeah.
Like this whole go through your phone, man, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not giving energy. That's the last thing me and her gonna be fussing about. Because I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to see bank, all that, man, I don't care. Do whatever you feel like you need to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah.
Just that I'm coming in that bathroom. If you got that phone. I tell you, that's great.
Like,
What is
what
the
is the
purpose?
purpose? You have to ask yourself that. Why do you want to go through it? LOL. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, like when you're scrolling on social media,
Hmm.
I'll look at what you're scrolling through,
Hmm.
and not because I'm like, what is he doing? But because we don't have a lot of the same friends. So I'm just curious as
Hmm.
to what they're posting, what they're talking about,
Hmm.
that type of thing. But
Hmm.
not because I'm a what is he doing type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So if
get
I'm
that.
sitting next to you and you're scrolling, I might be watching what you're scrolling through, but not because, like I'm insecure or
Mm.
because I think you're up to something.
Yeah.
That would be my only reason for, you know, looking through your phone.
Now, here's the thing: as it relates to me not caring about about having access, I also don't need to see anything either. Like, and and hopefully, I'm joking when I say this. Hopefully, I'm not setting myself up to get played. But I don't care what you do on your phone.
Hmm.
Like I'm as God is my witness.
I know.
I don't care what you do. It don't even matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just, and that's just me. I'm not saying that's how it should
Mm.
be. That's not, let's be clear. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm just saying that's how Oliver
That's a good
Marcel
point.
is.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, um, where do we leave off? Doc Parks said, what a woman told, if you go
Go looking
looking
for
for something,
something,
you'll
you'll
find
find
it.
it. The slightest thing could be misconstrued. Access, yes. Snooping, nah.
Yep. I agree with
I
that.
agree with that too.
I agree with that. Me either.
I really don't care.
Yeah, I
But
don't
I
either.
always wonder, why do people feel the need to have to just because you're married or together
To go to,
to go.
go.
Oh, she said go
Mhm,
to his. She's talking to me. Go to his
mhm,
page then.
and look at his friends' pages.
I mean, yeah, I could do that too. It's the same thing, I guess.
Mm. Mark said you don't care because you feel safe.
Because you have a partner who makes you feel safe, at peace. But if you didn't, that would be a whole different
I
world.
I buy
This
that.
is true.
I buy that.
That's very true.
I buy that. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm
Doc
with that.
Park said, can insecurity be cloaked in curiosity?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And
But
it
that's not,
and
I,
it often is cloaked in curiosity. I don't know that that's. I don't think that
that's
that's the
not
case with her.
right.
But
But
the answer to that question is yes.
yes, I think that that could happen.
Yeah, Stephanie said I think so. Yeah,
Hmm.
I definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is strategically, because listen, we can talk to you about some couples that we've sat in front of.
Ooh.
Sometimes it is strategically cloaked in curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Agreed.
know what they're doing.
Hmm.
It ain't just, oh, it just happens to be curious. It's
Yeah.
that's the end,
Yeah.
right? So there's a strategy involved. So yeah,
Hmm.
I do believe that. Um,
Yeah.
it's interesting though. Can I ask those of you who are married, is this a conversation you had
Mm.
before you got married
Well,
about the whole "what's mine is yours" thing?
mhm.
Was that did you just assume that, or did you actually talk about that at some point in your relationship?
Did we talk about it?
No,
No, we didn't.
we didn't.
I think we just assumed. Did we assume? I assumed that
Um,
what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. I assumed that. What did you assume, if anything?
I I guess in the grand scheme of things, I did assume. I don't know if the word assume is right. I think I just thought that's how it's supposed to be.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So now if I'm being 1,000% honest,
Hmm. I'm laughing at Doc Parks' last comment. Go
I
ahead.
I am selfish. If
You
I'm
are.
being 100% honest, at the core, I am selfish. Now I feel like I think I've done an exceptional job of being selfless.
I agree with that.
But if I'm being honest, there's some stuff I don't want to do.
Mm.
I'm gonna just be honest. Now we're not gonna have the conversation to pick apart what that is. I'm just telling you that right now.
Because I was about to ask.
That's not about to happen. It's not. We're not about to do that
I
because
need to know some
that's
things
a recipe
now.
for disaster. Because I'm not gonna change. I'm always gonna be selfless. So you don't need to know. You don't need to know that. You don't. You don't.
Denise, methinks that thou protest too much. Leave me alone, Doc Parks.
Just said I got
Got
bamboozled.
bamboozled.
That is hilarious. Mark said we spoke about sharing everything with no details or percentages. Married 2 years. Okay, that's
Wow,
dope.
that's great.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. You had that
Mhm.
conversation.
Thought
Thought
it
it
was
was
a
a given.
given. Also heard it in counseling.
So Carrie Ann, maybe that's
Mm.
the good word. Thought it was
It
a
was a
given.
given. Yes.
I think that's what what it was for me too.
I
I
think
just
so
thought
for
it was
me
a
too.
given,
Yeah.
right? Thought it was a given. I heard somebody say this a long time ago. They said, "If you are selfish, don't have kids."
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
And I thought about that early on,
Yeah.
right? Because like Carrie Ann, I thought it was a given. So for me, the issue was not should it happen or not happen. The issue was I had to work on me so that it could happen. So if I thought it was a given, and there's just some things I don't feel like doing, I was like, well, I got to get myself together.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of what it is. And honestly, even if we were to have this conversation, I could not, and I'm not, this is not a cop out answer. I could not give you a definitive example of what that is right now. If something comes up, I'll share it with you.
Okay.
If something comes up, I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's just I know that there's some stuff with me. I'm just like, I don't feel like doing it. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's, and she said, Carrie Ann said, but also heard it in counseling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, so Doc, I guess Doc would answer this question in the affirmative. What I was going to ask at first is, do you counsel people to do that? Do you counsel people to say, hey, what's yours is theirs and what's theirs is yours? Do you counsel them to do that? Is that a suggestion that you make?
Good
Is that an
question.
admonition that you give?
Good question, Doc. Good
Uh,
question to ask.
Shout out to JoJo in the
What's
comments.
up, JoJo? She says, ladies, you don't need to search, snoop, or ask for access. Who has time for that? When a woman feels safe, seen, heard, and valued, she don't need to have to she don't have she doesn't have a need to snoop around, because one thing about men, they don't cover up their mess and evidence very well. Just give it some time. What's hidden in the dark will always come to light.
I rather you question, and so I'm saying this jokingly, JoJo. I agree with what you're saying. So let me get that out the way. I'm saying this jokingly. I rather you ask me than wait for me to play myself.
What?
So because she's saying you don't have to snoop around. You don't
Oh.
got to spend energy doing that, because
Just
guys
ask
don't
me.
cover up their stuff well anyway.
Just
So
ask
it's going to
me.
end up coming up. I'm like, no, don't. I'd rather you ask than let me play myself. Even if it go, and that's Oliver Marcel again. I'm not saying this is what guys need to do. I'm just saying, me personally, if you think something and you got some level of insecurity, come to me. Don't have me out here looking crazy and then you just drop the ball. And me looking crazy might be my fault.
Right.
It might be.
I was going to say, well, hey,
it might be
this
on
is
me.
not, I feel like if that's the situation, it's not for me to protect you and make you not feel like
shots fired.
It's not my job to protect how you might feel. You know, that's no, it's not. It's not. We're getting way off topic
yeah,
here.
this is another
this is another
discussion.
topic. Yeah.
This is another discussion. I don't know, but let me just say this. Let me say this. Hold on, listen to me. Listen to me.
I feel
I'm not saying that it is.
Then what then?
Hold on, listen to me. I'm not saying you should protect my feelings. I'm saying you should be upfront.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying you should protect how I feel or that you should protect me from playing myself.
Right.
I'm telling you that you should be upfront.
Yeah.
So if you feel something in the moment, say something. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Stephanie's laughing. Yeah. So yeah, interesting topic. So Mark said he did have a conversation ahead of time. We did not have the conversation ahead of time.
We didn't.
Carrie Ann says she thought it was a given. as
Mhm.
well. And I think that's where I fell.
Yeah.
You, however, did not use the word given.
No, but that explains how that explains what I was thinking
Okay.
better than what I said.
Okay. Because you said you assumed.
Yeah, a given is a better way.
Mhm.
I agree with Carrie Ann.
So let me ask you this.
I thought it was a given.
How do you think you would have handled it if after the fact now, we haven't had this conversation.
Hmm.
After the fact now, you realize that that's not how I get down.
After
What
the
happens next?
after the fact, as in we're already
Yeah.
married, I think I would be like, wow, I wish I'd have known that before. But it would have to be a conversation. Why do you feel that way? What is? I would try to convince you that this is all ours.
And what if you couldn't?
I'm not sure. I think I would just have to work with what we got, how it is. I guess.
Interesting.
I think that's how I feel.
Nothing is a given in marriage.
Mm.
Marriage is in for two reasons:
Expectations
expectations and
and
assumptions.
assumptions. Ever say, I expected you or I assumed you would? Yep.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with setting expectations. And if things aren't working, go back and visit the original contract. I do counsel couples that there is no me or you in marriage, there is only us. Yeah, man.
Got it. Got it.
Backpedaling is difficult.
Backpedaling is difficult and in
It
some
is.
cases impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. I'm not questioning what you just said to me because you are a really great person. So I do believe that you would try to figure out how to make it work. But you are in the minority
You always say
because
that.
if you couldn't convince, I'm telling you, if somebody can't convince the other person, that's gonna open a world of issues. That's gonna open a world of insecurities. That's gonna open a world of conflict. That's gonna open a world of second guessing.
No,
It,
I'm not saying that I would do it without the insecurities and without the second guessing. Like if I
mhm,
couldn't convince you that we and everything we have is now one and now ours,
mhm,
and you weren't giving me an explanation that I felt was really I don't want to use the word convinced, but really helped me to see the other side
mhm,
type thing, then yeah, I would have to go along with how it is. However,
mhm.
there would be insecurities and there would be what's the other word you said?
I don't even remember.
I don't either. But yeah, I would really second guess like
Second guessing. Yeah.
what is it? Like what in the world?
So it would cause some tension.
It would I probably, yeah,
Yeah.
because that would come out in me,
Mhm.
the insecurity and the tension and the second guessing.
Real quick, just station identification break. Shameless plug. Normally, when we're on here normally when I'm live, period. I usually have on something that belongs to us. So, like this T-shirt my wife has on is our T-shirt, the committed T-shirt. I normally have on the 1+1 or she has on the Hey Girlfriend or and whatever. We usually have on our merch, is what I'm saying. Today, though, I have on my guy out in the Seattle, Washington area, Brent Dowling, and the Fallible Man has
Mhm.
some dope gear. So I don't even know if he'll even see this, but just wanted to shout out my guy Brent for the dope t-shirt. Some of you saw the skull cap I was wearing all winter long. That came from Fallible Man as well. So this is one of the few times that I have on somebody else's gear when we're live. So I just figured I'd shout him out. So shout out to you, Brent, whether you see this or not. Um,
That's nice.
Dope stuff. Dope stuff. Check out the Fallible Man. Um, Mark said families who had parents who had abuse in their family never had sleepovers. Trauma impacts the next generation. Some of the past impacts how people act in a relationship. Someone who had infidelity in their family circle may have
Additional
additional sensitivities.
sensitivities.
You need to pay attention and address the concerns of your partner. For some, it may be wise to provide passwords, keys, intentional transparency.
Love is surgically specific.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Carrie Ann agrees with you. uh,
Mhm.
Jay said drop the link. Drop the link for Fallible Man
Fallible
or for us
Man.
stuff. I can do both actually.
Yeah.
I'll do both. Um Jojo said we discussed sharing everything prior to marriage. It was effortless
Effortless
too.
too. I guess we entered marriage with the same expectation. Great.
And that's dope that you had the
Yeah,
conversation
man.
about it.
Yeah.
That's dope you had the conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. We didn't.
We didn't.
Listen, so full transparency, and why we are so much proponents of conversation now
Yeah.
is because there are a lot of conversations we didn't have before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Just full transparency.
Yeah.
Which is why we stand on that soapbox as much as we do.
Yeah.
Because thankfully, with the help of God, we're here where we are,
Mm-hmm.
even though we didn't have some of those conversations. And we consistently sit in front of people and see the results
Of
of
not
what
having those
happens
conversations.
when you don't have them,
Yeah.
right? So we are a proponent of that because there are a lot of these. If you go back and look at many of these episodes of After Dark,
Mm-hmm.
a lot, many, I won't say a lot, but many of those
Many of
conversations
them.
we didn't have. There's some stuff we found out after the fact, and I'm not taking any credit for how we navigated it
Oh,
at all.
that was
you know
all
what I'm
God.
at all. But at the same time, it's beneficial to have some of this stuff before you talk about some of this stuff before you walk down the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say this. If you are like us and you did not do that, that doesn't mean it is too late to do it. You can start talking from now and craft strategy
Mm-hmm.
around how you navigate these things. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's important.
That's part of that blueprint I
That's
was
part of the
talking about.
blueprint. Mark said, "Amen."
Mm-hmm.
Jojo said, which explains why you wrote the book, Have a Conversation. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Agreed. Agreed. Never too late. So
Yeah.
listen, let me we're gonna get out of here in a second. Just at the request of Just, I'm gonna drop the link.
For the Fallible Man.
Yeah, let me do what is his site? I don't even know how to spell it. Let's see. Let me see if I can find his merch shop. Yeah, here we go. So the Fallible Man stuff is here. And our stuff
Is that still the
it is for now. Yeah. It is for now. That may change. So just if you're watching on my particular profile on Facebook, it probably didn't show up, but I'll throw it in there afterward. It's on the Denali and on YouTube as well, those links. But listen, we're gonna get out of here, folks. The whole point of this, every time we bring up a conversation, excuse me, is to get people talking because conversation is a catalyst for learning. Conversation is a catalyst for growth.
Yeah.
Conversation is a catalyst for bonding, right? Not going to tell you how you should feel about the what's mine is yours thing. We will tell you from our experience that sharing is caring. That's just from our experience. And as you can hear from some of the other folks who said they had the conversation and have also taken that stance as well, that it does work, right? You heard from Doc, who says that you cannot thrive without that mentality. So something to think about, something to chew on, something to ponder, something to talk to your mate about if you haven't already done so. All right. So just said one thing I'm not sharing is my food. Everything else, have at it. So you have somebody who is just like you right here sitting next to me. Jojo said, and having a conversation is liberating.
Yeah.
It feels good to unpack with your spouse. It does. It feels good to unpack. It feels good to craft strategy. It feels good to be heard and understood
Hmm.
and feel like part of a team.
Sometimes it doesn't feel good until afterwards
Sometimes it
because
doesn't feel good until
you're
afterward.
uncomfortable, you know,
Mhm.
unpacking. Sometimes. Steph said, don't listen to me, y'all. I'm not married yet. Just playing the other side of things. This is a good,
Hey,
you make
yeah,
some really great points,
the
though.
other side of things is so the other side of things is a thought process that often is not talked about,
Right.
right? And so that ends up being
Yeah.
an issue when
Yeah.
people get married. So appreciate y'all, family. Thank you for jumping in the comments. Thank you for being the best part of this situation. We will be back. I'm not sure if we'll be back next Saturday, so
Yeah. Maybe not.
stay tuned. We might not be here next Saturday
Hmm.
night. We may end up running a
A rerun, a
rebroadcast
rebroadcast.
for next Saturday night. But thank you for being here. Listen, thank you for your support. We appreciate you all hanging out with us and supporting us in this endeavor just to be a blessing to the couples that we come in contact with. As such, there's more coming. So stay tuned. I won't throw up everything tonight like I did last week, but just stay tuned. Uh, pray for us and support us in any way that you can. And we got some stuff that God has placed on our heart. And so we're just going to start sharing it.
Hmm.
And we pray that it is a blessing to everybody that comes in contact with it. So we're going to get out of here. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night and have a great week. And
Yes, JoJo.
what did JoJo say?
Yes, we will. This Have a Conversation After Dark is going on tour.
Yeah. So
We're
there's a
speaking that because we've been talking about
yeah,
it for a long time.
yeah.
We just need to find venues. But this Have a Conversation After Dark is going on tour.
Yeah. So there's a couple things to answer your question, JoJo. There's a couple things we're trying to do live. So we're looking at doing a this have a conversation. We're looking at doing have a conversation tour. So we've we got a few cities. We're just trying to line it up now. So we're
Right.
going to start here because
Mhm.
we're in Maryland. So we're going to start here. We're trying to do New York. We're trying to do Philly. We're trying to do Atlanta
Yeah.
and
Connecticut.
Connecticut. And I think there was one other place that we're trying to do. Right.
Yeah.
So that's coming. And
Yeah.
then we want to do a conference. Normally, people bring us in to speak at their conferences. We want to host our own conference, right?
Yes.
So yes, that stuff is coming. So
Yes.
thank you, thank you for asking that. Jojo said, "Tell
Thanks,
me if you need volunteers."
JoJo.
Man, appreciate you.
Thank you so
We will
much.
reach out.
We will reach out. We'll keep that in
We will
mind.
reach out. We'll reach
Yeah.
out. Carrie Ann, shout out to Carrie Ann.
Thanks,
Just said I'm here
sis.
for that. Dope.
Listen, y'all, please keep us in prayer.
Yeah,
We
keep us in
need
prayer.
venue locations. We need, all
Yeah,
whatever
we need
what
some.
all it takes.
Yeah, we need
We
some
need
doors open
prayer
up.
for that. So please pray for us.
We need some doors open up. Yes, Jojo. Jojo's in Maryland too. So yeah,
Yeah.
the first have a conversation after dark live event is happening here in Maryland.
Yes.
So that'll be the first one, and then we'll kind of branch out. We're looking at
Mhm.
after Maryland, probably Connecticut.
Mhm.
Um, After Connecticut,
New
uh,
York.
maybe New York, and then
Yeah.
after New York, Atlanta. Well, Philly, because we were trying to do Philly as well.
Philly.
Philly, Delaware area, somewhere around there. We're trying
Yeah.
to do that, and then we're trying to go to Atlanta.
Mhm.
Some other spots in the South. So
Yeah.
yeah, keep us in prayer that we are guided by God, number one, and
Yes.
that and the doors open up. So
Mhm.
listen, fam, we love y'all. Appreciate you.
Thanks, JoJo. We're gonna reach out to you.
Jojo says she can help with New York. Okay. Dope.
Yeah. We're gonna reach out to you.
Dope. We will connect. We will connect. I'll shoot you a message. That's what's up.
Thanks, sis.
Man, have a great week, family.
Hmm.
And have a conversation, folks. Like just
Yes.
talk about stuff,
Mhm.
right? It don't have to be an argument. It don't have to go left. You don't even have to agree right away.
You don't.
Just talk.
And I know we're supposed to be getting off,
Go ahead.
but I think that a lot of conversations don't happen
Mm-hmm.
because we anticipate not agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
And we always want to agree. And when I say agree, often We always want our spouse to see things the way we see things,
Mhm.
so that there'll be no conflict and there'll be no tension. At least I know that's how it is for me,
Mhm.
because we don't like conflict. We don't argue. We
Mhm.
disagree,
Mhm.
but we don't argue.
Yeah.
And so, we don't like tension and we don't like conflict. And so it's very difficult for me to have challenging conversations, because I just want you to think like I think.
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
want us to agree. And so I think that that's often a lot, that threw me off.
Sorry.
That's often the reason why people don't have these tough conversations, because they
Yep.
always want to get along. I know that's not reasonable, and I know that's not, what's the word? It's far-fetched,
Mhm.
or whatever the word is, but I think that that's the reason why a lot of people don't have these conversations,
I
or
think,
tough conversations,
yeah,
you know.
I agree.
So,
I agree. But we got to have them,
yeah.
and we got to change our perspective on what they look like.
Mhm.
We got to change our perspective on what they look like, because they don't have to be scenarios where we are arguing and fussing and fighting with each other.
Correct.
It can literally be just, hey, let me just hear how are you processing this
And I think that,
and why.
yeah. And I think too that people often think that, man, if we don't agree
Hmm.
with these things, or we don't agree, I think people think that something is wrong with their relationship
Hmm.
if they don't agree,
Hmm.
or if there's conflict. And that nothing could be further from the truth. If someone tells you that there's no conflict in their relationship, they're lying.
Yeah, that's, yeah,
So
that's a
I
farce.
hope that people will have these tough conversations, or
Have them,
uncomfortable conversations.
have them.
And then the more you have them, the easier it is, and the less uncomfortable you feel, maybe.
Yeah, listen, have the conversations, learn and grow together,
Mm-hmm.
craft strategy on how you can navigate it, and go forth and be great.
Yeah.
All right. We love y'all. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a phenomenal week, and have a conversation. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We see y'all soon.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Peace.